I really appreciate this opportunity to be with you this evening. And it's kind of nice to have a role reversal tonight, because usually I'm the one that's at home changing the diapers, supervising the homework, doing the dishes, and Tony's the one that's out mingling with his friends and having wonderful dinners and conversations. So this is nice. And don't let the video fool you. He came across as very calm and cool and collected, but he's at home with the kids. And I tell you, when I get home, he's going to be frazzled by the end of the evening. By the time he gets the kids in bed and he's gone all through the evening with all the activities, he will have had it. He'll be waiting at the door for me to come. But seriously, though, it's an honor to be here this evening to join Life Impact Network and celebrate the success of this wonderful ministry. And I'm excited to hear about all the wonderful things the Lord is doing and to hear about all the programs that are not only impacting the Tampa area, but many other parts of the country as well. And one of these programs is exceptionally special to me, very dear to my heart, and that is adoption. And as John mentioned, our family came to Tampa in 1996, and we immediately fell in love with this wonderful city. I mean, who wouldn't love the beaches and the shopping and so forth? But little did we know that God had some amazing things for us. We spent the first 4 years just getting acclimated to the city, putting down roots and getting established. And my job was helping the kids to grow spiritually, also helping them to grow socially. And my husband was busy at that time because he was trying to help the Bucks erase an 18-year losing streak. So he had his work cut out. But then God began to speak to us, and it wasn't an audible voice, but it was clearly a message from him. And we knew that we came to Tampa to be part of God's plan. And this plan had more to do than just football. God had brought us here to be part of the community, and there was an issue that kept coming up, the debate over the sanctity of life and how we could help more women to choose life over abortion. And as Christians, we were definitely pro-life, but what were we doing to support and encourage women to choose life? And that's when God laid upon my husband and my heart to adopt a baby. Now, this wasn't an overnight decision. It was something that required a lot of prayer and much counsel. But then we proceeded and we welcomed a delightful bundle of joy, a baby boy, into our family. And this sweet, beautiful child was loved on and doted on by our 3 children 24/7. I mean, he was really spoiled, got so much attention, and we enjoyed him so much, as a matter of fact, that the next year we adopted another baby. We adopted an adorable little girl, Jade. And again, she just won our hearts over. She brought a lot of joy into our home. So after a few years, we adopted another baby. And he got a little bit past the toddler years, and we enjoyed him, and we adopted another baby. So, to be honest, now we're at 7, which is the biblical number of completion. But I'm not so sure that we're finished. In fact, since Tony's not here tonight, I think I might speak with Pat afterwards and see if we can talk and see if we can do something. All right, good. Thank you, Pat. But you laugh, but the Bible says in Psalm 127 that children are a gift from the Lord. And I always enjoyed gifts, but these gifts are precious and these gifts are special. They're perfect because they're from the Lord. So they're the best gifts that you could ever receive. And as I was preparing this talk, I was pondering over the reasons why we adopted and why we decided to parent more children. Ephesians 1:5 tells us that we're all adopted and we're all God's sons and daughters, and we're adopted into his family. So because of that, I view adoption as the ultimate demonstration of love. And growing up, I witnessed firsthand that a mother's love didn't have to be limited to her biological children. And I saw what a difference that love could make in the life of a child. There was a rich, beautiful legacy of adoption in my family. My grandparents adopted children while I was growing up, and then my parents took in over 70 foster children. And then when they reached the age of 60, which should have been their retiring years and the years that they relax and have fun, they went on to adopt 2 children. So they now have a 20-year-old and a 14-year-old son. So as my husband and I were praying about this, we realized that we had room in our hearts, room in our home, and room in our budgets to do the same thing. And today, I honestly just can't even imagine how my life would be without these 4 precious children. They are just so sweet, and they brought so much joy into our lives. Now, my husband, he has a sense of humor. He likes to remind me that we're probably the oldest preschool parents at my son's school. And he sat down one day and he said, I've done the math. Do you know that I'll be 72 years old when little Jason graduates from high school? And I said, oh, that's not right. And then I did a little figuring. I said, oh my goodness, you are old. But age really is just a number in the mind. That's the way we choose to look at it. Now, I've described the joys of adoption through a mother's heart, but why is it so important for men and women to understand the blessings of adoption? Well, because adoption has to be a family decision, there are some things that you need to know. The family structure in our country is disintegrating, and it's our children that are suffering the most. According to the United States Census Bureau, 21.8 million children are being raised by single parents. That's 1 out of every 4 children. And that number is only going to go up higher because 50% of all children born in this country are being born to single-parent homes. And those statistics, they're very disturbing. But what's even more disturbing, that there will be thousands of babies who won't be born at all. Do you know that last year in Hillsborough County alone, there were over 7,000 abortions performed? And that's tragic. But if we're going to truly be pro-life and try to encourage some of these women who don't have the ability, who don't have the means to take care of their babies and try to encourage them to choose life, then we have to be willing to step up and help them provide loving homes for the babies. And the other thing that many people don't realize, that most children, most babies that are placed for adoption by a birth mother, it's because there's not a supportive birth father in the picture. And birth moms, once they've made the decision to place their child for adoption, they're looking for a home with stability. They're looking